eno ye Extra Media UJ. Subscribe for all updates.
Honourable Speaker, I thank the Minister for beating the deadline, because today is the deadline. You are always walking a very tight rope and keeping everybody on the edge with these deadlines. Here is a quick concern, Right Honourable Speaker. You see, the budget framework paper which we received here not very long ago indicated total expenditure estimates of 78.2 trillion with tax projections of 41.5 trillion. The Minister is now giving us new figures a short while down the road, total expenditure estimates being 84.2 trillion. The tax projections being 44.5 trillion. I know that there can be alterations with budgeting and so on, but when we do this too much, we keep wondering what happened between a short while ago and now that you are moving up to 6 trillion shillings upwards. What happened? It, in my view, actually points to fiscal indiscipline. And that's why we need to plan properly and be sure of what it is that we are doing. Every year, and I am hoping, I don't know who will be, anyway, we'll get there. Every year we keep having supplementary, you know, there's always, of course, a corrigenda even before we go very far, then before you know it, supplementary. We need to plan properly so that we know how much do we need for the entire fiscal year. Where are we going to find this money? Whenever we keep moving these pieces, sometimes supplementary budgets are about salaries. The Public Finance Management Act provides that supplementary budgets are supposed to be for unforeseeables. Salaries should be foreseeable. Plan for these things. So I'm raising this comment because I'm seeing it now. The budget framework paper is talking about a different figure, 78.2 trillion. Now quickly you're telling us 84.2 trillion. I don't know what will happen along the way when you begin to come here for supplementaries, over foreseeables, over salaries. For me, it is unacceptable that you don't plan for your staff because you have them already within your system. So that cannot be part of unforeseeables. We need to plan better. That's my general clarion call, because I'm seeing it now. When you begin to move these pieces now and shift the figures, I am worried that along the way we might have a similar problem. I hope we shall not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Lwa, when we pass the BFP, there are some items that committees recommend to move from unfunded to funded. That increases on the value, and that's why you find that we have the second budget called circular. So, but anyway, you can hear from the that is that. I used to be in that committee. Honorable, my former chairman, yes. Shadow.
I want to thank you, Madam Speaker, and congratulate the Honorable Musasizi for meeting the minimum legal requirement of presenting this document. I have two concerns. The first concern, all these documents bear the signature of Honorable Matia Kasaija, who was a minister in 1980. That's the first time you got appointed. And I think he will be 83 years this year. Is it because of age that he must load this responsibility to Honorable Musasizi? Because I sit on the Committee on Finance, we have been meeting the Honorable Musasizi. I sympathize with him. It's as if he took over the responsibility of the Honorable Matia Kasaija. I only read in the papers that he was briefing the NRM caucus. Is he avoiding Parliament deliberate? That's the first concern. That all the documents bear the signature of Honorable Matia Kasaija, but they are carried trafficked here by Honorable Musasizi all the time.
They are not trafficked here. That is a wrong statement. They are not trafficked here. These statements are brought in by the Minister of Finance, State Minister of
Madam
finance
Speaker,
and economic.
the word traffic, I didn't know that is
No,
negative.
there is
Okay,
not
they are brought
trafficking.
here, Madam
Yes.
Speaker.
But
That's a first concern, which usually all the ministers of 80 and above are no longer here. I don't want to go through their names. Did they take a decision in the cabinet that all the people will no longer come to parliament, and yet they remain ministers?
Honorable,
The final concern, Madam Speaker. I think when the Attorney General and government are considering constitutional reviews, it will be fair in the future to allow a new government to do the budget. The transition between one government to another, because the Honorable Musasi comfortably says this is to implement the NRM manifesto. Certainly there will be a day when the manifesto to be implemented is not NRM. So I think in the future we need to make constitutional arrangement so that the budget for a year starting a term of office is done by those who are in office. Because those of us who are doing the budget are now exiting. But people who will implement the budget are going to be sworn in maybe in a month's time. So I am only asking the Attorney General and government to consider that in the future, because there will be a transition certainly to another government. So you come here and you have Musasi's PDM, what, and you want to change them, and they have passed them in Parliament.
thank you. Honorable Ssemuju, maybe Lwa, the budgeting process is a consultative one. And as when we are consulting, we go back and forth. It is not cast on stone. So that's why you find that figures keep on changing. And then maybe on the other thing of honorable young member of parliament, the other ministers are old, so for him he's a young member of parliament. I want to refer you to Article 117 of the Constitution of Republic of Uganda on the responsibility of a minister, collective responsibility. Yes. He was still responding. He's still responding to what was asked.
Honourable Speaker, I'm not objectionable to alterations, and I mentioned that in my remarks.
You're actually giving advice.
Somebody was disrupting the speaker at that point. I did make that acknowledgement. Alterations can happen. You plan for A, by end of the day, you are not able to meet it, or maybe you have acquired some more money, so you want to do it better. That can happen. But I'm saying generally, we shift these financial goalposts a lot. And then I dwelt a great deal on supplementary. So I'm hoping that, Honourable Minister, in that 84.2 trillion shillings worth of budget, there will not be the kind of supplementaries we see here all the time that are not unforeseeable, because the Act talks about unforeseeables. People normally bring supplementary budgets here, including for salaries. That's fiscal indiscipline. Plan for your staff. Let the unforeseeables be a disaster has happened in Bududa, in Kasese, in wherever.
Or even in
Nakawa. Chitezi, that's part of Kampala. Yes, and there's a time we had the fire and so on. Those are unforeseeables and they're understandable. So when you come here and you say floods happened, we want to compensate people, want to take care of this, that's understandable. But please don't come here for salaries. No, that's not acceptable. What you're telling your staff is you don't consider them serious at all. That's why you don't plan for them.
Thank you.
I hope you have planned for them.
Thank you. Next item.
Parliament. No, it is 19. I want to refer you to Cap 171, Section 19. Section 19. Section 19 deals with reallocation of funds from a vote. It is under this section that I am moving. Madam Speaker,
If you don't have the act, I can give you.
Madam Speaker, in line with the Cabinet decision, under minute extracts 43 CT 2021 on RAPEX, on 1st August 2025, His Excellency the President assented to the National Forestry and Tree Planting Bill 2025 following approval by A, to mainstream the National Forestry Authority into Ministry of Water and Environment. Right Honorable Speaker, to ensure uninterrupted service delivery, there is a need to transfer or reallocate the respective budgets of the National Forestry Authority to enable the Ministry of Water and Environment to take on the rationalized functions for the remaining 3 quarters of this financial year. Madam Speaker, the approved budget for National Forestry Authority is Uganda shillings 47.467 billion, as at the end of quarter 1, an amount of Uganda shillings 11.317 billion had been released, leaving a balance of 36.15 billion.
Long time, because the question is, did the functions move? The answer is yes. Now, the motion should have come earlier, and therefore I do not see if the function moved under the section of the PFMA we are talking about. The money should have gone to the entity where the functions have moved, and that should have been done earlier. So we need to clean it up so that we do not enter into a financial year, into another budgeting process with this backlog. I beg to submit.
During the rationalization, were the documents provided? Yes, Honorable Iki.
Madam Speaker, I would like to move a motion, but before I do that, I would like to seek the guidance from you, through you from the Attorney General. Madam Speaker, when we did RAPEX, we repealed most of the acts. And if we repeal the NFA Act,
abalungi abatuuliriza era abatulaba olunaku olwaleero tuchaddeko ewa Sheikh Asiraf Dembe.
Sebo sanyusa okubalaba amannya agange Yeze Sheikh Asiraf Dembe akola ku bizibu by'enjawulo. Omuntu singa aba alina ebirwadde musomereddwa tumuwa amazzi ga lukuya nga bw'obadde ogalaba, tugenda abantu ku kyoto ne twokya emizimu emibi egibabaamu n'okulomba edduwa. Abantu singa abeera ng'ali wano atuuse sobola okumulombera edduwa, ne waba atatuuse nga mpadde amannya ge naye ng'ali wala. Naneetaaze enamba yange yeno eri 0707363711. Namwe bannyinaffe abali ebweru oyagala okuba nti oyagala okulombera ku dduwa ng'olina ebizibu, viza zibuze, amaka gakolongotana, sente zikola zimpita mu ngalo, ojja kumpeereza ekifaananyi kyo n'amannya go, ebyo byokka bijja kummala. Nja kukulombera edduwa, ojja kutereera. Olunaku olusembayo mu mwezi mba n'edduwa ey'awamu ffenna n'abalwadde bange abakadde n'abapya. Salaamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.